Hi and welcome along to AFTV News Daily. It's time for the Sunday Q&A, lockdown Q&A. Well, we're starting to come out of lockdown a bit now. I'm starting to feel that way. Of course, tomorrow in the UK, the shops, non-essential shops are going to be able to be open. So that's a good sign. Still don't have pubs and bars and a lot of restaurants open, but it's a sign that things are starting to come back to normal. See today where the government are looking into the ruling that you've got to be 2 meters apart. They might make it 1 meter apart, which might help to get more schools open. And of course, in 3 days' time, football's back. So I'm starting to feel a bit more normal. It's still boring at the moment because there's nowhere to really go out and go, but I'm starting to feel like a bit of normality is starting to come back. I want to big up a friend of mine, Danny. I was chatting to you earlier. Just something said to me, give Danny a call, man. I haven't spoken to him for so long. Turns out he had the coronavirus. Wow, but luckily he's asymptomatic, so he's fine. But big up yourself, Danny. Also, remembering Grenfell today. It was just a few years ago, the Grenfell fire, 72 people that we know about that died in the fire. Terrible, terrible, terrible tragedy. I remember it like it was yesterday. And, they still haven't had justice. They still haven't had justice, the people of Grenfell. So listen, I stand with you today. And my heart goes out to everybody who was deeply affected, directly affected by that tragedy. So 3 days to go in football. Come Wednesday night, 8:15, Arsenal visit the Etihad to take on Manchester City. I'm looking forward to it. It's behind closed doors. It's not the ideal situation, but I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are looking forward to it as well. So anyway, on Sunday, you know how we do it. We throw it open, and it's your chance to ask me whatever you want to ask me. You can ask me stuff about football. You can ask me stuff about Arsenal. You can ask me stuff about other teams, the Premier League, whatever. You can ask me anything. It doesn't have to be even football. And I'll do my best to try and answer your questions. All right. So throwing it right now, open to you guys. I've really enjoyed doing this, Come from tomorrow, I said this morning that from tomorrow we won't be doing 2 shows a day. It's going to drop to 1 show a day, and the reason that is because we've got so much content coming out about the games. We're really building up to the games now, and of course we're going to have like 2 games a week. So changing a bit of our programming, but this has gone so well talking to you guys every single day that I've felt that we have to keep that going. So we're going to keep that going every day where we do 1 live show, give you guys a chance to have your say on the issues of the day as regarding Arsenal and all things football. So let's get into some of your comments. There's already a lot of them, so really appreciate those. Who's going to be first? Lemon says, can you shout out my friend Ben? It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Ben. They've been trying to catch me out since I've been doing this show. I'm sure DT's had a lot to do with this, because DT's one of these guys who's got that kind of very kiddie humor. So he loves all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? And then he posts it and as a laugh at people. Don Orchard says, hi, Don Robbie, love from the Isle of Wight. Are you still going to be doing the Q&A shows indefinitely? If you guys still want them, I'll still do it. Obviously, what we're doing is going to change a bit, as I said, because of, the fact that football's coming back now, real football, you know what I mean? So, but if you guys still want to keep up doing the Q&As, I'll keep up doing the Q&As. I don't mind it. I've really enjoyed doing it. So, it's good fun. Couple of super chats here. LFC Aaron says, come on Arsenal on Wednesday. Now, I know why you're saying that. Because, of course, if we win that game, you can go to Everton and win the league on Monday night, right? So on Sunday night, shall I say. So I know why you're saying that, but listen, we'll take it. You know what I mean? We need to win that game if we possibly can. Andrea says, had you known how much you would have blown up fan channels, would you have done AFTV sooner? Yeah, I would have loved to have done it sooner. It would have been nice to have done it when we was, you know, winning titles and stuff like that. But yeah, of course I would have done. But, you know, nothing's before its time, bro. Big up Shri. Enough respect to Shri, wherever you are, and a lot of respect going out to you. To Trent Singh, Robbie, thoughts on the Aubameyang news? It's down to Arsenal to convince me. I think he wants a guarantee of their plans and trophies. In my opinion, Arteta step up. I read it a bit different. I thought it was more like he's saying it's over to Arsenal. They haven't really put a deal on the table yet, which I've kind of suspected for a long time. I've been like, have Arsenal yet put that deal down? Now, what are they waiting for? Get this guy tied down. You know what could happen here, right? Supposing when everything comes back, he goes on a blistering run and scores wins the Golden Boot, scores a load more goals. Then Arsenal rush to sign him, and he says, "Well, actually, you know what? I'm off." Get it done now. Get it done now. What are they waiting for? Sam Broughton says, was the wage cuts made to raise money for transfers? No, it wasn't. The wage cuts was made to help pay money for some of the non-playing staff at Arsenal. So that was the whole point of the wage cut. None of it is for transfers. So no, none of it's going to be used for that. And this is where the owner comes in. You know, what's he going to put in himself? Josh Mahoney says, thinking of Birmingham, bad or good memories? Birmingham City, you know what the memories are. That League Cup final, it's a bad memory. That was a horrible day, man. That was a horrible loss. Embarrassing. Mihir says, hi, Robbie. I just want to say thank you for your daily content. It's been keeping me going during lockdown. Thank you, Don Robbie. Thank you, Mihir. And as I said, we're going to keep daily shows going. It's not that we're getting rid of it completely. It's just that we're going to, instead of doing 2 shows a day, we're going to do 1 a day because we've got so much more content coming out. We're going to be doing stuff from outside the ground. We're going to be previewing of tomorrow. We've got a preview coming with me and a Manchester City fan. So we've got lots of content coming. Don't worry about that. But I will still keep up the daily shows. You'll have to look out for them. And, because I really do think it's important to give you guys a chance to have your opinions. And I've loved it. I've loved how many opinions you guys have been putting out there. So, we'll keep those up. And also getting some fans of what I've enjoyed as well is getting fans of some other clubs on to get their point of view on certain things. I think that's been nice as well. Ibzino says, are you worried about Arsenal's chances for the Europa League next season with Palace and Burnley right behind them and in form? Look, notice the guy's not even talking about the Champions League. Europa League. How are we falling? Listen, Burnley are just behind us. Palace are just behind us. But I would expect Arsenal, we were on a good run before the whole lockdown thing come. I think Arsenal can push on. And we just got to try and finish as high as possible. Do we even want to be in the Europa League next season? That's the question. Lahishar says, hi, Robbie. Don't often comment, but always listen. Are the games going to be shown live on YouTube? From what I understand, they're not going to be shown live on YouTube. Over in the UK, it's BT Sport, Sky, BBC, and also Amazon, who are going to be showing the game. So they've got all the games, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be showing it. Andrew Chow says, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time in relation to AFTV? I want this to continue, but could you move on and do other stuff like TV, radio work for Arsenal? I don't know about for Arsenal. I don't know about for Arsenal. What you mean for working for Arsenal? Or, I prefer to do this because you get a chance to have your own say. You get a chance to let people have their own say. Whereas when you work for a football club, and not just Arsenal, it's filtered, 5 years time, I just want to keep really getting stronger and stronger and stronger with this, building this TV radio work. You know, I've done some radio work recently, even on Talk Sport, and they want me to come and do more stuff. That's been good. I've got a few TV things in the pipeline. There was a couple of TV things in the pipeline, and the coronavirus derailed it. One big thing as well that I was a bit, you know, bit peed off about. But we're doing TV stuff. Of course, I've done that documentary, which is so relevant now, isn't it? The one that I did on racism in football. That's up for an award as well. So thank you to everyone for that. It's gone up for a very prestigious award. So hopefully we can win that. But yeah, we're going to keep doing our thing, man. Keep doing what we're doing. Ashburton Grove says, do you remember Arsenal TV who had a partnership with Satanta? I do. Yeah, they you know, so always been surprising that Arsenal not really had apart from that time, but not really then since had a actual TV channel like Chelsea do, Man United do. I think Liverpool have got one as well, but Arsenal seem to concentrate more on the YouTube side of things, and why not? More people watch that. That's the truth. Arnav says, Robbie, how come we're being linked to centre back who are harsh in their challenges and make mistakes like Upamecano and Tar? Saliba is not like that. We need a centre back like him who's intelligent, like Ben White. I like a mixture of defenders. So I like one guy that's like probably really good on the ball, can bring the ball out, silky, stuff like that, you know. But then I like sometimes the other centre back to be a bit of a contrast, bruiser, does go in and get those hard tackles, does do a lot of the real hardcore dirty stuff. I like that. So I'm not against that. Blit Monster 1 says, hello, Robbie, huge fan. I have a car YouTube channel called One Tire Fire. I want to do a mini documentary of your YouTube stardom and to film one of your cool Bentley. That's not my Bentley. Right after the virus, listen, just link me up, bro. But that wasn't my Bentley, by the way. That car was a lovely car. That was a video that we did, right? But that wasn't actually my car. That was for Auto Trader. So no, that wasn't my car. Nino says, I love to see a Netflix show like Sunderland Till I Die fronted by AFTV. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. You never know. Behind the scenes at Arsenal. Steve FC7 says, will Arsenal win the league before Manchester United? We kind of got asked. I had Rants and Bants on the show last night. We got asked this question, and I answered it honestly that you'd have to say, with the money they're spending and what they're doing, you'd have to say that you'd think they'd win it before we do. But then United have been splashing the cash now since Fergie left, and it hasn't really gotten far. So, you know, but certainly we need to step it up, Arsenal, in every department. Bakri says, evening, Robbie. Thoughts on the Norwich player who tested positive and was involved in a friendly against Spurs? Should both teams go on self-isolation? Well, from what I understand, it's only the player that tested positive that has to go into quarantine. None of the Spurs players have to go into quarantine, and none of the other Norwich players have to go into quarantine. So I don't know who the player is. I don't know who that player was. So it's really hard to know what the circumstances are. But it would appear that maybe that Norwich player does not really come into contact with a lot of the others. So thankfully, it's just the one player, and they won't have to go into quarantine, the whole team, neither Spurs. Nathaniel James says, Robbie, I never used to like AFTV, but I was ignorant then. I've done more research and how you came from nothing and the good work you've done, and you give a voice. Legend. Thank you very much, Nathaniel. Glad that we've been able to change your mind. Listen, I'm a guy, I always say it, man. Listen, everybody is entitled to their opinion. Some people like what we do. Some people think that you should stay silent. That's up to them, but this is what we do. And I like to give all fans a chance to have their piece and have their say. It's our club. It's everybody's club. It's not just mine or anybody else's. Richard says, Robbie, I'm having a debate with my friends on WhatsApp about who is better, Drogba or Henry. I'm saying Henry. Do you agree? Yeah, I do say Henry. Drogba was brilliant for, there's no doubt in what you got to say about Drogba is that he always stepped up in the very biggest games. He was unbelievable. But Thierry Henry, he was brilliant. He was stylish. I think even Drogba himself would say Thierry Henry, So yeah, I'm definitely going. But Drogba, he's up there. He's right up there. But Thierry Henry, Drogba, it took him a little time to get going. He was a very effective player. But for pure, beautiful football and the things he'd done, you've got to go with Thierry Henry, surely. Trent Singh says, Robbie, will the stat show with Graham and the Claude and Ty show will be back? Also with Sane coming back. Who would you start at right back? Bellerin for me, says Claude and Ty show. And the stat show is going to be coming back in a little bit of a different form because obviously we're having to do a few things a bit differently, but we've got a sort of similar type show that's going to be coming back. So look out for that. Claude and Ty you'll see coming back. Right back, it has to be Hector Bellerin. He's played in the friendlies. Who else are you going to play there? I mean, you can't see, Cedric playing there at the moment. He's not even played a game. Would be the wrong game to throw him in against City. Dank97 says, Don Robbie, your rant with Joel the other day sums up how I've been feeling for the last 10 years as an Arsenal fan. My younger brother who supports United makes fun of us in front of his friends. BS. Yeah, I did have a bit of a rant. I was watching some of that back and I was like, whoa, I did have a bit of but you know what? What it is, I get fed up, right, with how sometimes Arsenal operates. I've been around the world with this club. I've been lucky enough to go around to a lot of different places, a lot of different countries with Arsenal, up and down the country. This is a huge club, Arsenal. Huge club with a huge history, a loved club. I go there every week, apart from since the lockdown's on. There's 60,000 fans every week. There's fans at the ground from all around the world, all around the country. It's a massive club. And sometimes how we operate, I'm like, nah. We should be operating on a bigger scale. We should be in for those very biggest players. And remember, that's what we were. That is the frustration of a lot of Arsenal fans, is that we were promised. Fans, I know you guys are going to be a bit disappointed, but we're going to leave Highbury. And the reasons we're leaving Highbury is because of this. We want to compete with the very best teams in Europe. That's why we're leaving. Because fans are quite, we were upset. We're like, why are we leaving here for? We love it at Highbury. We're winning. Why are we? Don't worry. The reason why we're leaving this place, when we go to the Emirates, we're going to be on another level. We're going to be competing with the likes of Bayern Munich, and we're going to be like the Bayern Munich of Premier League football. And what have we turned into? It ain't the Bayern Munich of Premier League football. Nowhere near. We've gone absolutely miles backwards. And that's why I'm frustrated. And that's why all the fans are frustrated. Mr. Celtic 12 says, hi, Robbie. Arsenal is not a step up for Eddie. He's on about Edouard, obviously. Celtic is a bigger club than Arsenal. Also, Eddie is better than Nketiah. Best we have since Larson. Mr. Celtic, big up yourself. Celtic are a huge club. No doubt about it. Again, one of those clubs that anywhere you go around the world, you'll find a bar and there'll be a Celtic supporters club. Anywhere you go in the world, it's a huge club. It's not bigger than Arsenal, though. Arsenal are a bigger club, in my view. And a lot of the reasons why that is because Arsenal play in the Premier League. And the Premier League has more eyeballs on it than the Scottish League. It just is. That's how it is. It's unfortunate for Celtic. I've said it a million times. If Celtic was in the Premier League, they'd be one of the biggest clubs in the world with their support. but they're not in the Premier League. They don't have the budgets. That's why they always end up losing all their best players. And so you can't say that they're a bigger club. Not in my view. Sam says, do you think the UK should be focusing on mental health during this pandemic? I'm from Scotland, and there's more suicides every day than corona deaths. And you know what? Mental health is a very, very, very big issue at the moment. I was speaking to somebody a couple of days ago who was saying to me, they go, Robbie, I've been suffering. I was shocked. I was like, yeah? He goes, yeah, I've been having a bad time of it. And, you know, we had a nice chat. And at the end of it, you know, I mean, you know, that really helped, you know, talking about it. Then I was chatting to another person. And she said to me she's been struggling. I was like, you? She said, yeah. So it's been very tough for a lot of people, you know. A lot of people, you know, there's been people stuck at home on their own now for a few months. You know, it's really hard and really tough on people. So mental health is a very, very serious issue. I see that Prince William is doing some things around it when it comes to the FA Cup. They're actually renaming the FA Cup. It's a big issue that has to be highlighted. Kartik says, looking forward to the new mode of fan interviews post games now. Also, Robbie, what if Aubameyang leaves? Worst case scenario, who would you buy to supply those goals up front realistically? It'd be hard. And might be even in the sort of vein that, you know what, you just have to lose Aubameyang, wait until the end of next season when Ozil leaves, and use that money to go big after a really big name. And just promote up Lacazette and then Nketiah and those guys and say, you know, and get somebody in midfield who can score goals and maybe try and share the goals around until we can get that really top striker, because replacing Aubameyang is very, very difficult indeed. Martin says, Robbie, I've been watching since 2014. I remember when you got the Colombian model on AFTV, and she told us that we were going to be getting Benzema. Yes, Jenny. That didn't work out, did it? We didn't get Benzema in the end, but yes, you know, that was she's a lovely lady. She is. Ashburton Grove says, if Celtic are bigger than Arsenal, then how come Arsenal used to bully them in the friendlies with reserves? That's what I mean. Celtic are a big club. They are a big club, and so are Rangers. They are big clubs, but as I said, they suffer because of the league that they're in. Because if you look at the amount of money, for instance, that they get from TV in comparison, I mean, even the team that gets relegated from the Premier League will get way more money than Celtic. So it's the league that they're in that really does affect them. But they are a huge club, but you can't say they're bigger than Arsenal. And Arsenal attract bigger players, and that's because of, you know, obviously because of the money. Gareth says, Biggie or Tupac? Has to be Biggie, right? You're right. I'm a Biggie guy. I love Tupac, but for me, Biggie all day long. Michael says, Michael Downs, Robbie, ever thought of doing a show like Away Days, where you pitch up at a local pub around the country for a live game as well as your normal match day stuff? If so, hit me up. We have thought about doing that before. It's the logistics of doing that sometimes, though, you know what I mean? Because we've tried to do games in pubs. It's very difficult. It's so noisy. It's so, you know, it's a really tough terrain sometimes to do good filming because, and it's so packed before a game. So, you know, but we're always looking at ideas. So hit us up. Jam says, hello, Robbie. How long do you think it will take until everything goes back to normal again for fans and other people? I just got a feel, listen, it all depends on this virus, doesn't it? If we end up getting another spike, you know, we could be back to square one again. I'm hoping that the government have learnt lessons and, you know, we won't get another spike. If we don't get another spike and infections continue to go down, I could see by the end of this year, I can see by the end of this year, fans starting to come back to football. Not full, but I think it's going to be done in stages. So I've just got a feeling it's going to be quicker than we all think. Nathaniel Lawrence says, Robbie, your thoughts on what Aubameyang said? Well, my thoughts on that is, where's the contract? Have they put a contract down in front of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and said sign? It worries me, because I've just had this feeling all along that have they put the deal on the table for him? And from what he said, sounds like they haven't put a deal down on the table. And if they haven't put a deal down on the table for our best player, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was having that rant the other night. It's beyond. That should be our absolute priority. Richard says, if you was in charge of transfers, and if Aubameyang leaves, who would you sign to replace him? I'd take any of these five: Victor Osimhen, Odson Edouard, Alfredo Morelos, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, or Edison Cavani. I look at that list and I say, maybe Edouard. Obviously, Osimhen's been doing well, but they want a king's ransom for this guy. He's done well for one season. I'm not even sure if he's better than Lacazette. So I'd probably, as I said, adapt what we've got for a season, and then I'd wait to see what I do next season. Nisa says, hi, Robbie. Would you take Klopp or Pep at Arsenal? We've got asked this one the other night. Either would be great, but I think I always slightly edge Pep Guardiola. I think he's unbelievable. They're both unbelievable managers. Look at the job that they've both done. I just like the way that Pep, it doesn't matter who he plays, man. He just imposes himself on every team. He's a great manager. Really is a great manager. Gooner Gamer TV says, hi, Don Robbie. Huge thanks. My kids, aged 4 and 10, love the shout out. You made their day. Big up to them again. I've got a great idea for a show. I'd love to run my ideas past you. I know you're busy. I've emailed you. Please get back to me when you can. Okay, will do, man. Thank you very much for that. Where's the Biggie says, hello, Robbie. Are we still playing at neutral venues? The neutral venue thing's gone all quiet, isn't it? I don't think we are. I don't think there's going to be any games at neutral venues. I think they're all going to be played at the team's grounds. The one that they were talking about might have been played at a neutral stadium was the Everton-Liverpool one, because they were worried that fans could turn out if Liverpool won the title. But I think even that, they're playing at Goodison. So, I don't think there's going to be no neutral venues. Asher 2 says, hello, Robbie. I agree with you, and I'm not saying Arsenal are bigger because I am an Arsenal fan. Arsenal has 40+ titles and invincible. So respect to Celtic, great club, but not as great as Arsenal. And they're not. They're a great club, but unfortunately, they're in a very, if Arsenal was in the Scottish League, they'd tear it up as well, wouldn't they? Shashnak says, Robbie, what is your personal opinion on Wenger leaving? Do you think maybe he should have spent one more year and found a successor with the same values as Arsenal? I actually think he should have left before he went, Shashnak. I think this is part of the problem that we're seeing now, in that Arsene Wenger, great as manager as he was, and I think he's our greatest ever manager, but he stayed too long, in my opinion. He should have went a few years ago. He should have left, and that's not Wenger's decision to make. That should have been the hierarchy. And, especially when you hear the rumours that, they were offered Pep Guardiola and people like that, and they stuck with Arsene Wenger. It was a big mistake. Nothing lasts forever. You have to have a transition. So I think he should have left earlier than what he did. Camille says, Robbie, just curious, Guardiola, Mourinho rivalry or Wenger, Fergie? Come on, Wenger, Fergie. Guardiola and Mourinho doesn't even come close. Those two, Wenger, Fergie, that is the rivalry of all rivalries. Mr. Celtic 12 says, fair points, Robbie. How many Champions Leagues have you won? Yeah, you won one in 1960 something. We've won it. Also, bigger, better fan base. Bigger fan base. I'm not sure. Not sure, Mr. Celtic. You know what I mean? No, I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't agree with that at all. Honest Addy says, Robbie, how's your kid doing at MK Dons? All right. H. Wenchy says, Inaki Williams, Bilbao to Arsenal. Would you take that? Thoughts, Robbie? I like him. He's lightning quick. He's a very good player. I haven't seen him play for a while because I haven't seen a lot of Atletico Bilbao recently. But when I've seen him play, he's looked a very, very good player. Welsh lads 2K20 says, how's it going, Don Robbie? What do you think about the reports of Arsenal have agreed a fee with Partey and Upamecano, be quality signings? Thoughts also, could you give a shout out to my mum, Amanda? Big up, Amanda. She's having her kidney out on Tuesday. Ooh, special big up to Amanda. Hope that goes well. Wish you all the best for that. Yeah, I've seen these Partey rumours. I've seen they're rumours. Until I see pen to paper, they're all rumours. I've seen the Upamecano one today where they're saying it's agreed. Nothing's been agreed yet. We won't know until the end of the season. I'm not buying too much into those rumours. First things first, we've got to get the Aubameyang thing tied down before we start even looking at those. And according to him, they haven't even put a deal down on the table for him. Jim Bauer says, what would be your starting 11 for City? An ideal starting 11 for the first game of the season. You're allowed 3 new signings in it. Got a video coming out tomorrow. I'm not going to reveal my starting 11, what I think. You'll see it in the video that drops tomorrow, Jim. So I'll give you my starting 11 then. Oh, sorry. The Ali Mohammed says mental health really is a big issue. Bollywood star Shashnat Singh's suicide today due to depression. Rest in peace. I saw that. I'm not, I wasn't familiar with him because, not being a massive Bollywood fan. But I saw that today, and he was very young, and really, really shocking and surprising when you see, he's very successful. He starred in a film playing MS Dhoni, and to commit suicide at such a young age. But depression is terrible. And if you know anybody that's having a tough time of it, always try and talk to them. Because sometimes it's that loneliness that makes things worse. But that was really, really sad news to hear that about that actor. That's terrible. Honest Addy says, thoughts on League One and League Two ended early. I think it's horrible. Apparently, there's a lot of teams that wanted it to end early because they're saying that financially it's just too expensive to finish the season. So apparently there were some teams that's what they wanted to happen. But for me, I'm always wanting to see seasons get finished. And it's a real shame. League One, League Two, women's football as well. Terrible that they've had to, they're not going to get a chance to complete their seasons. Pramod says, hi, Rob. Hope Ty is doing well. What is your feeling of where Arsenal would be placed at the end of the season? I think we'll get into the top 6. Any higher than that is going to be an absolute bonus, really is, because top 5 could possibly get you into the Champions League. We got to just aim as high as we possibly can. Guna Glenn says, hi, Robbie. Any chance of an AFTV Android app this season? Something's in the pipeline. Look out for that. Working on it at the moment. Hard behind the scenes. So look out for that. Ali Mohammed says, Shashnat Singh was 34 years old. This is sad. 34. That's really sad. Really, really. That's so young. Really Schooner says, how can we reach Dortmund's levels in terms of buying and selling? What position would we be in the Bundesliga? And who's your favorite Emirates era player? I think in the Bundesliga we'd be up there. I've been watching a lot of them Bundesliga teams, and yeah, you've got Bayern, you've got Dortmund. I think Arsenal, I'll be quite confident of beating the rest of the ones that I've seen playing. But But the way Dortmund buy and sell has been absolutely brilliant. And that's, if we're going to be doing this, model that we're doing, self-sustaining, we need to be doing it in a similar way to how they're doing it. Road to Dawn says, who do you think will win the Champions League? I think this season, then they're looking to complete it. I can't see, if all these other leagues are coming back, they won't complete it. I think two teams, I reckon, might win it this season. Man City, I think have got a good shout. I think they're going to be determined to win it. And also PSG, I think have got a great shout at winning it as well. I think one of those two. Camille says, Robbie, what is your prediction for the City game scoreline? Who scored and who assisted? Jesus, you don't want much, do you? I'll come back to you on that. It's hard to predict a win, isn't it? Draw. Aubameyang scores, Aguero. YK says, Robbie, our attack is worrying. We should recruit. Last season, played 28, scored 60, conceded 38. Now, played 28, scored 40, conceded 36. Our defense is improving slightly, but our attack is significantly worse. I think a lot of that was down to how Unai Emery had us playing earlier on in the season. I don't know what we were doing. We weren't attacking. We weren't, it was terrible. Our attack is too dependent upon one player. And that's the problem, which is Aubameyang. And we need to start scoring more goals from midfield, and we need to start sharing out the goals more. Tammy says, hey, Robbie, I'm Nigerian, and I never knew about Celtic until I came over to Europe. So Arsenal has a bigger fan base than Celtic. Arsenal has a worldwide fan base. That's true. I'm not too sure how big Celtic is in the African countries. But Celtic does have a massive worldwide fan base, without a doubt. Joshua Smith says, hi, Robbie. Thank you for your shows for years. I've been supporting your show, and today it's 1 year since I had my last counselling session. Wow, brilliant. That is brilliant. And it's a great thing that depression nowadays is something that's spoken about, because when I was younger, basically, if you went over to somebody and you said, you know what, feel a bit rough, suffer a bit of depression, they'd be like, what? Come on, Robbie, get over it, mate. Come on. Go and have a beer and, oh, come on. That's how it was treated. It was dismissed. So, and when it's dismissed, that makes it even worse, because, you're there, you're suffering on your own. But when you talk about these things with people, it really, really does help. So well done, Joshua. Respect, bro. Winfred says, good evening, Don Roberto. What's your top 3 most classic and favorite AFTV fan cams? Imagine if before the league starts, cases rise and we're in lockdown again. Well, starting with the lockdown thing, all the signs at the moment are that it's dropping. I saw some big rave party being held up in Manchester. That doesn't help. I don't know what they were doing. A rave. Quarantine rave, they called it as well. Crazy. And obviously all these marches and that over the weekend, and that doesn't help it either. Didn't see a lot of social distancing going on, a lot of the marches, a lot of fighting. But hopefully, the government are saying they're on top of it now, and they're saying that, they're encouraged, that it's going down. So let's keep our fingers crossed that there isn't another spike. 3 most classic fan. Oh, that's hard to answer. The Chris Hudson one I always love. The Claude and Ty one I always love. There's so many. There's the DT and I can't even pick 3. I can't even pick 3. Mally Wright says, hi, Robbie. What are you doing with these transfer dealings? Let me read that again. Hi, Robbie. What are we doing with these transfer dealings? We never learn. We act like a small club. When we're not frustrated, these guys run our club like amateurs. I think there's a good team of guys running the transfers at the moment. There is, but they need the funds to get the job done. And if you can be brilliant at your job transfer wise, but there's only so many Martinellis you're going to spot. Sometimes you need money to go out there and get, players to fix the problems that you have now, i.e. defence. Sean Turner says, Robbie, what's your prediction for the top four when football resumes? Don't be biased because it won't be Arsenal. All right. I said this the other night. My prediction is obviously Liverpool will win the title. Manchester City will come second. Leicester will just about scrape it. And then I've got a sneaky feeling it could be Man United in fourth. And they might go past Chelsea. But who knows? Who knows? It's who goes on a great run. Kingsley Opera says, hi, Robbie, apart from the scum, what other Premier League team do you least like? P.S. Thanks for giving us a platform to connect with the Arsenal fans worldwide. No problem, Kingsley. The team that I least like after Tottenham is Man United. Without a doubt, it is Manchester United. I don't like them because it goes back to our rivalry back in the day when it was Fergie, Wenger. And then I've got so many friends that are Man United fans, and they are over the years. Yeah, definitely United. Definitely United, man. I don't like to see United win any games. Just like no United fan wants to see Arsenal win any games. Let's have it right. Come on. That rivalry between us is still there. One of the things that we always say, like every time I see United fans, like when I go up to Man United, when we play them and that, we just reminisce and we'll be there saying, oh, remember those days, man, when Arsenal played United, Fergie, Wenger, all the Pizzagate and that. If only those days could come back, because both of us have fallen, Ferris says, hi, Robbie, which player you dislike the most of all time? And would you swap Aubameyang with Luis Suarez and Coutinho? No, I'd keep Aubameyang. I don't want Luis Suarez. He's way past his best. We missed that boat. Coutinho would be great on loan, but let's keep Aubameyang. Player that I most dislike all time. I never used to like Van Nistelrooy at Man United. I never used to like that guy, man. Wow. Great player, by the way. There's nothing to do with it. It's just that he was, that time when he was at United, we had Henry, the rivalry, so that's one of them. Lord Sonogo says, hi, Don Robbie. Have you listened to any Punjabi music beats? Couple, I have. Big up for entertaining us. Will you do watch-alongs for Arsenal games, considering our AFTV regulars have their own channels now? We will be doing a watch-along for the Arsenal games. So you're going to find out a lot more about those. And they're going to be some very good watch-alongs. And the place to be when the games are going on is going to be right here. We're going to give fans a chance to have their say in real time. As the games are going on, you can send your comments in like how you're sending them in now, and we'll be reacting to them. So honestly, we've got some big stuff planned around the games. Been planning it for weeks. Looking forward to it. Charlie Goodenough says, Robbie, do you see any substance in the Deo and Partey links? There's substance in them. The Arsenal were interested. They've been interested in Upamecano. They're interested in Partey, but that's about it at the moment. There's nothing money I don't think has been put down on the table. They haven't met any of the release clauses or anything like that. So at the moment, it's speculation. But there is something in it. Arsenal definitely wouldn't mind those two players. Savrine says, Robbie, you talk about focusing on loan deals. What was our last successful loan deal? That's a good question. Got me thinking now. That's so good. You know what? Let me put it out there. What was our last successful loan deal? Great, Savrina, I rate that. That's caught me. That has. Yeah. Well, I'll put it out there. Our last successful look, because we've had some Some horrific loan deals when you think about it. What a great question. Well done. EVR channel says, I live in Morocco and the majority here support Arsenal or Man United. The Scottish League is nowhere to be seen. See, I'm saying, you know, Mr. Celtic, you know, no disrespect. Listen, respect to Celtic, but, you know. Turtleneck says, Suarez to Arsenal for 40 million. Thoughts? And a pound? Gone. Prime Alexis Sanchez or Aubameyang? That's a tough one. And Alexis Sanchez was tearing it up as well. But Aubameyang's been a bit unlucky. He scored all these goals and done so brilliantly, but in a crap team. So it's been really hard to. You probably have to say Alexis because the team was doing better. That loan deal one's good. Anybody out there with that loan deal one? Trust me, that was a good question, and I'm trying to think of the good loan deal that we've had. Bunny says, hi, Robbie, 2 questions. Have Arsenal received funds from Stan yet? No. If they are, it's not been for transfers anyway. And what are your thoughts about the potential trillionaire buying Newcastle? I'm very worried because that's going to make Newcastle another team in the mix. They are going to be a serious threat with all that money. Serious threat. And all those people who say, no, they will be a serious threat. End of. Lots of you sending in your loan deals. Abhishek Henry wasn't on loan. Ben Ayoun did okay, but successful. Kalstra, yeah. He scored that. He scored that 1 goal that in the FA Cup. But apart from that, he wasn't successful. Lockstar says, "Do you think we'll finish above Spurs?" I do actually. I do think we'll finish above Spurs, even though they got Harry Kane and Son back. Boss Buckle says AJ or Tyson Fury. Again, that's such a hard one to answer right now. You've got to, at this moment in time, say Tyson Fury for what he's done to go to America and win the title in the manner he did against such a dangerous opponent. You've got to say Tyson Fury right now. David says, get Nicki Minaj on. Trust me, I'd have her on. Can you look it up? I'll have her on tomorrow. All everything else will be cancelled. We get her on. Xander says Baptiste. He wasn't successful though. The guy said successful loan deal. Thierry Henry wasn't on loan. Was Thierry Henry on loan at first? He wasn't. Thierry Henry didn't come on loan. He came in from Juventus. We bought him. Was he on loan at first? No, I'm sure he weren't. No, Thierry Henry wasn't on loan. But that is a great question. Great question. Let me get to Viking. DNA says, Robbie, if Ramsey decides to join Spurs, we should immediately offer him a chairman position left by the vacant Sir Chips for the future and emotionally convince him to join us on lower wages. And he says, laugh out loud. I don't think Ramsey will join Spurs. And Spurs, they're in probably worse a financial position than us because, they've got a lot of things to pay for. So he won't be going to Spurs, even though I saw those rumours today. Trent Singh says, Julio Baptista was a good loan. No, he weren't. No, he weren't. He didn't live up to it. He didn't live up to the title. He was okay. Yeah, Dennis Suarez, best loan deal. That deal's why the guys answered that question. Taylor says, I wouldn't swap any of our defenders, Sheffield United, for yours. No consistency at all. 2 promoted teams have overtook you in the last 2 seasons, and they won't be getting worse anytime soon. Now, Sheffield United have done brilliantly, and their defence has been excellent. Season hasn't finished yet, though, Taylor. Chill out a little bit. Let's wait to see if Sheffield United can sustain it right through till the end of the season. A lot of people are carrying like the season ended a couple of months ago. It's still games to be played. Robbie B says, I watch both Scottish and English and the English league. I think Celtic have a better atmosphere at games. They do have a fantastic atmosphere, brilliant atmosphere, and also have a bigger fan base. Do you agree, Don Robbie? Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that, but also a bigger club. You know? Yeah. Chris Owen says, Ceballos is probably the best loan we've had, apart from maybe Henry for the Leeds goal. Oh, you're talking about when Henry came back. That's not the same. No, I'm not going to include that when Henry came back. Right? Yes, he came back and yeah, you know what? He came back and he did do well. But no, I'm not going to include that. It's not fair to include that. Right? T Gun says Alex Song was on loan. No, Alex Song was our player. We sent him on loan to Charlton, done well, came back, and then he was at Arsenal. Successful loan. That's honestly, we're talking about loan deals. Maybe we should avoid this loan deal stuff because we never ever pull off a successful one. That is, you know, guys made a great point. Edward says, can't get it up on the screen here, but Edward says, which post-invincible player could generally go down as an Arsenal legend? Post. Aubameyang, if he stays, could go down as a legend because of his goal-scoring exploits. Leo said Ben Ayoun, another shout for Ben Ayoun. He was all right. It's okay. He wasn't, you know, Oz says best Yossi Ben Ayoun as well. He did okay. He wasn't what I would say was a really successful loan deal. Benjamin says Cedric has been the... See, that's it now. Banter. These loan deals, man, they ain't worked out, have they? Annie says, hi, Robbie. Why do we always mess up with our loan signings? I mean, when was the last sensible loan signing at Arsenal? Is this a scam? I suspect so. Why are our loan deals so bad? It's really got me thinking, man. Nathan Hall, slightly off that, he said, I think we should play Chambers at CDM instead of buying Partey. He was Fulham's player of the year when he played there. That's right, you can play as a defensive midfielder. David Luiz could also play there as a defensive midfielder as well. He's been played there before and done all right. So, you know. Isham says, Wagwan, Don Robbie, Don Sheikh Robbie, what time will tomorrow's and Tuesday's live streams be? Tomorrow's one, I think, is going to be in the evening, so probably 8 o'clock. And so will Tuesdays will probably be in the evening about 8 o'clock as well. Obviously, on Wednesday is going to be the game. So, but we'll be still doing them once a day. Just look out for them. We will schedule them in to give people time to know that they're coming. All right. Oh, sorry. There's one I was going to do and it just slipped away from me. Rohan says, hey, Robbie, it still hurts that you, he thinks that Barcelona have bought UEFA, obviously, sent RVP off. We were in the lead. Do you remember? Of course, I remember that. Barcelona, I'm sorry, they do get a lot of the big decisions go their way. And that sending off was ridiculous. And, you know, again, I don't even like to think about those things, man. Ashburton Grove says, there was a time Arsenal signed a goalkeeper called William Werners, who never played a game. Search him up. Listen, there's been a lot of players we've bought that didn't play a game. So that's not the only one. Conway says, question, Robbie, have you ever considered getting security for your interviews? Have you been in danger? Yes. No security, man. No, I'm not in this security thing. You know, we go to interview fans. You get idiots sometimes, but I have to say that on the whole, you know, 95% plus of the games we go to, we never get any hassle. So, and I don't like walking around with security and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's to me, sometimes it can make it worse. I've had friends hit me up, you know, who, trust me, if they came down and did security, it'd be, oh, yeah, they. But to me, I just don't think it's necessary. And also, I just think that sometimes if you walk around with a load of security and that, you can antagonize things. I mean, look how many police were out on the streets yesterday in London. Did that stop it from kicking off? No. So it's not always about security and stuff like that. Abraham says, if you had 75 million to spend, realistic budget, how would you spend it? I would sell Mickey, El Neni, Chambers, Maitland-Niles. I would put Partey and Upamecano. Thanks, Don Dada, Sheikh, Raja, Robbie. Listen, when you put it like that, we keep talking about budget-wise, right? If 75 million and you sold those players, you should be able to get Partey, you meet his release clause, 40-odd million, Upamecano, 50 million, and the money that you've made off of those players. If the owner put forward something like that, you know, but you know the rest. Kings the Opera says, Robbie, do you share the same opinion of Claude that the Invincibles are not the best Arsenal team in the Premier League era? No, me and him have argued about that before. You know, Claude is a miserable. The Invincibles, nobody has done it since. And only one other team had done it before. And even then, I think it's Preston, they played way less games to do it. And it was ages ago. And if it's such a difficult thing to do, that it has to be that team. It's the milestone. When people chat rubbish about they drew games, and I always answer with the same question: well, why don't you go and do it? Just draw some games for the rest of the season and become it. Why didn't Liverpool do it? Why didn't City do it? Why haven't, you know, Chelsea done it? They all lost the game. That invincible thing is so difficult to do. Quabena says, Don Robbie, big fan of the channel, but I'm a Chelsea fan. Much love, my brother. Big up yourself. Why are you supporting Chelsea for? Come over from the dark side, man. It's Mo says, could Pablo Mari be our best loan deal if he does well? Possibly. That's got me worried, that whole thing about the loan deals. I'm starting to worry now because I'm thinking, if we're looking to do what loan deals and stuff, I mean, listen, I just saw this one from this guy. Park. Best luck. Absolute useless. Didn't even play. What's going on with his loan deals, man? Jeez. It's bad. Dano Jr. says, you actually think that the Arsenal team was the best? What, you on about the invincible thing? Yeah. Yeah, I am. You know what I mean? That best Premier League, best team in the Premier League, because, you know, I know people are going to say, no, the treble winning Man United team. No, Premier League team. Not, that's the best team that we've had in recent times because they won the treble. Best Premier League team. That's just for the Premier League. Arsenal. They went a season unbeaten. They got a gold trophy for it. Best Premier League team. No one's been able to do it. If it's that easy to do, why haven't they done it? Toby says, big West Ham fan here. What West Ham players would you get into the Arsenal? Would get into Arsenal starting 11? Well, listen, I think West Ham have got some good players. I think they're a very underperforming team. Felipe Anderson, who we was discussing this last night, well, I thought he was a very, very good player. Has really fallen off. Been inconsistent. Oh, sugar. What's his name at the back? The centre back would get into Arsenal's team. I think there'd be a shout for. What's it? My names tonight, man. Names have gone all awry. Declan Rice. I think he could get into Arsenal's team as well. I think he's a good player. Larissa says, why are we worrying so much about transfers right now? We need to give our guys full support in these games. Only positive vibes to them, then worry about it. Love from Finland. Big up, Robbie. I think, people are looking ahead to the end of the season. And they're going to give full support to the team. But the team's going to need more come the end of next year. And obviously, we've had a few months off from football, so we've been able to focus on, what we need. Bunny Boy says, just to put things into perspective, this prince has a painting worth more than the reported amount he paid for Newcastle. Why isn't there someone with that amount of money interested in Arsenal? He's on about the Saudi Arabia owners. We've got a multi-billionaire owner. He just don't want to spend the money. He don't spend it. He just loans it. Reece says, if we get Coutinho, he will be the best loan deal ever. And I'm going to do a couple more now because we're running out of time. We passed the hour mark. It's flown past as usual. And let me get... Abe says, Fabregas post-Invincible legend. Yeah, he done very well. Van Persie possibly could have been... Well, none of those are legends to me. Legends, you have to... Probably the closest would be Aaron Ramsey. And he's not a legend, but he won, he helped us to win significant things in the FA Cup. Yeah, significant. But, we hadn't won nothing for a while. FIFA says, greetings from Boston. Please share your secret behind what drives you. Also, when is Ty and Claude show coming back? That's coming back very soon. As I said, you'll hear from him this week. What drives me is I love Arsenal. I enjoy communicating with the fans. And I'm just a driven person. I've just always been like that. I always want to do things the best. And I'm always willing to put the work in to be the best. So if it means that I'm gonna have to work around the clock, I'll work around the clock. I'm a bit of a hard worker, bit of a perfectionist. Can take criticism or go away, work on my game. I like to listen. So all them sort of things really, and they're no big secrets. It's just, learn every day as well. I like to learn. I like to, learn from people. So that's my secret. Right. We are coming to the end of who am I going to get as the last comment of the day? King MTL says, Robbie, by that logic, City is the best Premier League team because they got 100 points, but they didn't go the season unbeaten. Yeah? Ours is gold. This is just the regular tin pan silver team. Ours is the gold team, yeah? Right, so Invincibles. Or as Ty would say, Invincibles, Invincibles. Listen, thanks for watching the show tonight. Really enjoyed having your company. Really enjoyed having you guys along. Thank you very, very much. We will, of course, return back tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, we'll be back with the show. Not tomorrow morning. Tomorrow evening, we'll be back. But we've got loads of content dropping. Got a brilliant preview coming up several previews coming up on that Manchester City game. So make sure you keep it locked here and have yourself a great evening wherever you are, or afternoon or night. Just enjoy yourselves.